everybody doing today? It's a wonderful day today. I'm here. Let's give it up for Yummi Crab. My name is Rain. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I currently live in Grandview, Missouri. And this great gentleman has asked me to get up here to do a stage act for you. I am a comedian. I'm a Christian and gospel comedian, so you will not hear no cursing. It's all clean fun, all right? Hope that's okay with everybody. All right. I was born and raised here in Kansas City, and my dad used to use duct tape for everything. He would go out and fix a car, he would use duct tape on it. He would use a duct tape and a hammer. When we had a screen that was busted out, he wouldn't go and get new screen. He would use duct tape. Use duct tape for everything. Duct tape for broken bones, duct tape to fix things, duct tape to put on the piping. That's what my dad did. Well, anyways, as I was saying, I'm from Kansas City. I'm a retired pastor of the Methodist Church, and this passion to make people laugh has never left me. But one day, I had to go to the police station. And you know, we as minority women, as black women, you know, we have a blessing in our hair. So on this particular day, I had micro braids, and I was transitioning into a new hairstyle. So I had to do something to my hair. So I went to the wig store and I got me a wig. So I took the wig home and tried it on, and it looked pretty good and everything. And so I knew I could go to the police station without having those knots in my hair. Amen. And so as I was going to the police station, there was a homeless man who asked me for a quarter. As I was going to the police station, he asked me for a quarter. And, you know, after all, I had this wig on, I was looking pretty good, and those that have been downtown know that there's real tall buildings, and if there's wind gets trapped in those real tall buildings. This particular day when this homeless man asked me for a quarter, all of a sudden, this wind out of nowhere took my wig off. And my wig was tumbling down the sidewalk like tumbleweed in Kansas. And so I was trying to chase the wig and trying to grab it so I could put it on my head. I know that people in these tall buildings were looking at me. I took the wig, I picked up the wig, I shook the wig out, and I was looking in City Hall to make sure I was looking pretty good, making sure the wig was straight. The homeless man said, ma'am, you can use my belt. I said, you can use your belt? He said, I can use his belt to put my wig on. And so I got my wig on, and I looked pretty good. I know people were on the other side of that wall looking at me, the other side of the door looking at me and laughing at me. So I made my way down to the police station. When I got into the police station, there was an officer who was a receptionist sitting behind the desk, but he was waiting on another customer. So I sat down. When he got through servicing that customer, I got up to the counter. He says, ma'am, can I help you? I said, yes. My name is Pastor DrAseme. I'm here to get a permit for my church. He started smiling at me as if I had another occupation because of my wig was turning every which way. But anyways, when I went back to my car, that was the fastest walk to my car. I'm a slow walker. That was the fastest walk that I took to get to my car. You know, my mama was a smoker. And when she smoked, she would spit out this stuff. She would spit out not seeds from not syllabus, but weed, amen. But she would smoke out tobacco. She would spit out tobacco because she smoked Pall Malls without the filter. So we lived in Mama's house, and as Mama smoked, we would go through that smoke like it was a Red Sea. She said, if you don't like my smoke, get out. So you know, one day I decided to get out. So I went to the kitchen drawer and got one of those knives. It was a dull knife. And I went to the refrigerator and got that bologna, you know, with the red skin. I went there and I began to make me a sandwich. Well, we had 5 children in our house, so the only bread that was left in the bread wrapping was the heel of the bread. So I fixed my sandwich. I put that bologna on that bread. I got some mustard and put it on that bread. I didn't have any aluminum foil or any cellophane wrap or anything like that. So I got the bread wrappings to wrap my sandwich up. Then I went to my bedroom and grabbed the clothes out of my drawer and put them in a Kroger's sack, because back then they didn't have plastic like we have today at grocery stores. So I put all my belongings and my sandwich in the brown paper Kroger sack. And I made my way out the door. And my mama stood at the door and said, "Wait a minute, where are you going?" I said, "I'm running away." She said, "Those clothes in that bag, those are my clothes. That sandwich in that bag, that's my sandwich." And you know, that's how we treat God. Everything belongs to us. It doesn't belong to us, it belongs to God. So as 5 of us siblings growing up, right there on 57th and Euclid, right down the street there, that's where we grew up. When we grew up, we had to do chores with brooms and mops. And so this one particular day, we had got into it, my siblings and I. And we began to, we fought like they did in the 19th century. We were knights and ladies. After all, I graduated from Southeast High School. But we were knights and ladies. And so we would fight one another with the brooms and mops. We would be fencing. And the dustpan was our shield. We would be fencing. We would be clacking. We would be fencing. One particular day, my brother took a swing at me with the mop and knocked the ornament, the head of the ornament, off of Mama's decoration. You see, that was her ashtray and a planter. The head went flying across the room. We began to make truce with one another. We began to make up with one another, because we knew if Mama had saw the head off of that ornament, we would be in serious trouble. So after all, my dad used duct tape for everything, so we knew we couldn't use duct tape on that lady's head. So we found some Amherst glue, and we took turns and glued that head on that ornament. And my mother went to her grave not knowing that that lady's head was knocked off. But we had some great times growing up in Kansas City. We had some really good times growing up. But I want to leave you with one thing. You know, church folk are something else. Do I have a witness?
Yes.
They are something else.
Because they church folk.
Church folk and they're something else. You know, there's a human race and then there's church folk. And I'm sure some church folk have been up in this place because they don't even have those little red pryers to open up your food, amen. To open up your crab meat, amen. You gotta break it, amen. You gotta have the waiter help you break it, you know, to get all the meat out of it. But church folk are something else. You know, one day I had asked Sister Dunbar for some change at church. I had a $20 bill. I asked her for some change. She went in her bosom and grabbed out a little purse. Because for some reason, us women, we go buy purses, and we don't need to buy purses because we have purses on us, naturally. So she went and got this small purse out of her bosom. She said, "Oh, I don't have it in there." And all of a sudden, she reached in and grabbed this big old purse and pulled out all this money and made change for us. But thank you, Kansas City. Woo!